So I got burnt out a few weeks before my birthday, and it made me feel kind of lost. And it just made me think a lot about how I was living my life and what I wanted to make out of it. I mean, how had my life come to this? A life lived to work. And so once my birthday rolled around, I took a road trip with my best friend. And as silly as it might sound, I took a mushroom microdose on this trip that made all my thinking come full circle. I realized it was my own attention that was causing me to live in my own personal hell. I realized if I altered my attention, I could create a better life for myself. So let's fast forward to my birthday. I didn't really notice the microdose working until I was doing my makeup in the morning. I'm really particular about some things, especially when I'm getting ready for the day. I'm hyper aware, making sure I get my lipstick just right and making sure everything around me is in order. I see problems everywhere, and my mind seeks to perfect. But this particular morning, I was just doing my makeup. I wasn't worried about it being perfect. I didn't care that there were clothes on the bed or that my things weren't put away. I was just in the moment. All of a sudden, I wasn't seeing problems everywhere. I hadn't felt this way in my entire adult life. Imagine you hate ketchup or you're claustrophobic and hate crowds, and then all of a sudden you just didn't. You entered a crowd and felt completely fine. That's exactly how I felt, and how much my reality had shifted. This experience was so profound for me, and I couldn't stop thinking, how was it that I was able to have such a profound shift on my reality? Contrary to the popular belief that all humans have the same operating system, I realized that actually everyone's operating systems are entirely different. It isn't just the way that we're hardwired that shows us what reality is, but it's also all of the different aspects of our identity, our language, religion, sexuality, trauma, experiences, the way that we grew up, our pet peeves, our phobias, our likes and our dislikes. These things don't just impact our personality, but our realities too. And so I asked myself, why? Why is it that these things impact our reality? And then I realized exactly what it was. It's because they affect what we pay attention to. That's all our reality is. It's a mathematical equation, an intricate web of strings, each a string of attention woven together to weave the reality that is playing in front of our very eyes. You see, our attention acts as an incredible filter. Ask yourself, is there anything that your attention is filtering out? Or perhaps filtering in? Have you ever had a friend show you a song and they loved the song, but you felt neutral to it or perhaps even detested it? Well, there's two different realities at play. Perhaps your friend grew up playing the guitar and they have a keen ear for riffs and melodies. They're paying attention to different things in that moment than perhaps you are. Or maybe you grew up in a high-stress household and it's caused you to have an anxious attachment style, and maybe someone hasn't texted you back yet. Because of this, your reality could be in shambles, or you might be in a state of panic. That reality is completely different than someone who has a more secure attachment style. The secure person could not receive a text for several hours, but they're going about their day just fine. How could you shift your attention in this moment to shift your reality at play? Magicians are masters of manipulating our attention. They create illusions, they do the impossible, simply by manipulating where our attention is going in that moment. They manipulate our attention so much so that they make us believe something is happening that, well, isn't. Our minds are also master magicians. They make us see what we want to see, but we don't even realize we are seeing what we want to see. It's incredibly subconscious. Just as a computer receives many different signals to display an image on your screen, our brains are telling us exactly what to pay attention to in order to create our reality. But realizing that you can shift your attention in order to change your state of being is quite the superpower. We all have the ability to shift our reality, the same way that we all have the ability to paint walls in our room and rearrange our furniture. It's the same room, but you can make it however you want to make it. And on the day of my birthday, it was like the room inside my head finally changed. It was like I was able to turn the switch on and off. The part of my brain that was choosing to see so many problems was no longer in operation. And so let's circle back to the beginning. I'd mentioned that I'd got burnt out, and this microdose experience made me realize that my burnout was in large part due to the way that I was choosing to see life. I was choosing to see it as one big problem to solve. I was paying attention to all of the wrong things. When we're kids, life's about play, and we wished so bad that we could just grow up and do whatever we wanted to do, and then at some point in time, life becomes about work. And we seem to forget that we're free. So I'm deciding to pay attention to that freedom and deciding to pay attention to the adventure that life is, because that's exactly what it is. And maybe if we stopped taking life so seriously, then maybe we wouldn't be so tired. And so all of this has made me realize the cheesiest and corniest saying in all of human history, and that is, life is what you make it.